Finding the best lens hood and filters for your Sony AX53 can be quite a challenge. The challenge starts when you start to use the optical steady shot. This does have a mechanical gimbal, so it moves around whilst you're moving. Using a 55mm lens hood, it will show up on your footage. Single filters are fine, but trying to use something like a variable filter, these are just a little thicker than the normal filter. Due to the balanced optical steady shot, when the camera is moving, you will see the lens in the shot. To compensate for this, you can zoom in. For me, this was all trial and error, finding the correct lens and sun hood that worked for me. Testing a great number of different size hoods, I found that the 72mm size was ideal. Normally the lenses on the AX53 is 55mm, so a 55 to 72 step up lens adapter was required. The two filters of interest to me were the UV filter and the variable ND filter. These were both 72mm in diameter. And finally a 72mm tulip flower lens hood with lens cap. This was a push on, pull off type that was reversible. This type is important as we can mount our filters on the ring and the lens hood does not get in the way. All the filters and lens hood can be found in different places, but I will leave links in the description below where I got mine from. The first job here is to remove the lens cap and fit the UV filter onto the lens hood ring. Next, fit the 55 to 72mm step up lens adapter to the camera. Don't worry if you think that the 72mm is a bit large, trust me, it's not. Make sure the step up lens adapter is tight. Screw in place the lens hood ring, this is one that we put the UV filter in. And finally put the lens hood in place, that just simply pushes on. There are 4 small ball clips that will hold the lens in place. This will enable you to pull the lens hood off, reverse it and push it back on again for storage. This is now my permanent setup for this camera. To enable me to use the lens hood without issue, all I've done is replace the old 55mm with the 72mm. With the step up ring fitted with the UV filter and the lens hood ring fitted, it is easy now to fit the bigger filters. Some of the filters are a little wider than the other, but they all fit on and you do have access to the wheel on the back. The widest of them all is the ND filter. I have stacked them all together to show the difference. Here we have the variable ND filter, variable CPL and ND8 filter. These would need to be a little smaller than the lens hood ring. For me this wasn't really an issue. It will allow me to fit other filters if I require. In this case I'm using a variable ND filter. The lens hood is to be removed first and then the filter fitted as shown. The body of the variable ND filters are a little wider than normal filters due to their construction. The variable ND filter that I have chosen here is exactly the right size for the lens hood to push over. Because of the shape of the lens hood, it will give me now access to the variable ND filter. As with the UV filter that is still in place, fitting on the lens cap is very easy. This just simply pushes on in place as shown. With this variable ND filter, I did notice that the little ball bearings that hold the lens cap in place did mark the ring of the filter. All other filters I had no problem at all. Although our filters now measure 72mm across and the lens cap is slightly larger than the AX53, but it does work quite well. Here with the hood removed, the light from the ceiling falls on the lens. With the hood replaced, it does eliminate this and it can be rotated if required. One thing that I really do like about this hood, it is easily removed, reversible for storage, and all of this can be done with each of the filters still on the camera. Okay, testing time. With the optical steady shot I have intelligent active selected. We have the step up ring with the UV filter fitted, the lens hood ring with an ND8 filter fitted, and finally the lens hood itself. With the camera fully zoomed out and shaking it violently, there is no vignetting and no sign of any of the filters or lens hood in the corners. I did do quite a lot of research and testing of different size filters, and I did find that the 72mm was absolutely perfect. My conclusion after a couple of weeks of use is that the variable ND filter was a little difficult to get the lens hood on and off at times. All other filters, single and variable CPL, are perfect. There are no issues getting the lens hood on or off. I hope you found this information of use to you. Thank you for watching.